Hey everyone, thanks again for tuning in to watch our anti-stigma campaign videos on how we're trying to get out there and reach people about how recovery goes for both addictions and for mental health. And so today I have Miss Brittany Wallace. Brittany, would you like to introduce yourself and let everyone know how many years you have sober or clean?
I'm Brittany Wallace, and I just celebrated 4 years in sobriety on August 8th.
Awesome. Thank you for that. That is great. So the first question I have for you is, what age and or stage of life were you when your substance use or mental health disorder started?
I would say my substance use started, I started dabbling around my junior year. And then after I had my son, I just spiraled out of control.
Okay. And so what life events were taking place that caused you to begin using?
So I lost my grandma. That was really hard. I dealt with a lot of childhood trauma and abuse, and then my son's father was actually abusive, so
okay.
So an escape.
Yeah. So would you say it's fair to say that you really didn't have a lot of coping skills to deal with grief and all the different changes?
Okay. I didn't even know, even through high school, I didn't even know therapy was a thing.
Okay, good. So how did your addiction progress? So after you started, just how did it progress from then on?
So it started out with just me using pills and cocaine here and there to, I couldn't find pain pills anymore, and that's when I started doing heroin and fentanyl.
Okay. And what losses did you experience along the way?
A lot. So I lost a lot of my childhood friendships. I lost family members that I don't blame them for distancing themselves. I lost my children, and most importantly, I lost myself.
Yes. So what events resulted in you to go and seek recovery?
Probably when I had my daughter. I was pregnant with her in active addiction, so when I had her at the hospital, I never felt the pain leaving the hospital without your newborn baby, and that was it for me. That was the last straw. I was like, I'm done. I'm ready to not fight this battle anymore and to fight the good fight.
Awesome. So how many times did you seek treatment prior to arriving to where you are today?
I think 2 or 3 times in inpatient, and then the last one where it got me to where I am now is I've done outpatient recovery through here.
Awesome. Yay for comprehension. But good. That's good to hear, and good for people out there to know that we have things here locally that do work for us also. So could you let us know what are 2 significant barriers you overcame to get to recovery?
One of the main barriers I overcome was trauma. The second one was learning to not isolate myself.
Yeah, that's a big one. I think that's what we think coping is to isolate and do it by ourselves. That's good. What skill did you learn either in treatment or from others that you still use today?
I would probably say self-awareness. I use that more than anything, probably, is to evaluate a lot of situations too before I react.
That's good. Yeah, that's a good one. How has sobriety impacted your personal life, family, and work and community?
So I got my kids back. I actually have a new baby that got added to the picture in my sobriety journey. I have a husband. My family we've mended many relationships. I'm married. Did I say married?
It's okay. That's wonderful.
I've held down a job for 3 years now. A solid job to where I've not just worked paycheck and then quit. So.
Oh, that's good to hear. I think that's what people need to learn to understand, is that you're going through all these trials and things, but yet the life and the things that you wanted, you're achieving it now once you took care of you.
And even more, I just wish to be sober. That's all I wanted. But getting sober, God has blessed me with everything else that comes with it and more.
And that's awesome. So what advice would you give to someone that's out there struggling right now in recovery?
Struggling in recovery? Let's see. Just go with the waves. It's worth it. I mean, it's not worth going back to where you was, because you're going to be lost and lonely again. Just keep fighting the good fight.
And so to those that are saying like, man, I hear what you're saying, but I got to quit this. This is, I'm better being that person in the madness versus what you're saying. That what you have, I can't obtain. So what would you say to someone that's thinking about quitting because they don't think that they can have what you have?
Just got to fight a little harder each time. With every battle that comes, hit your knees and pray, and you'll be blessed.
Yes, that is true.
And I mean, I was in addiction for 10 years, so I wasn't blessed with everything I've got overnight. It's come periodically. Like, you spent 10 years fighting an addiction, it's not all going to come back to you overnight.
Right.
So.
And even when you lost your kids, to get your kids back, that was...
I jumped through hoops, and I wanted to give up so many times, but I just kept telling myself, I'm going to get what I want. If I fight as hard to get my kids back, as hard as I fought to get the next high, there ain't nothing going to stop me.
Oh, man. Thank you for sharing that, because I think that is something that people need to understand. Like, if you can go through all these hoops to get your next score or whatever, then why aren't you trying to do that to get either your kids back or your life back to where it needs to be? That's good stuff. So what advice would you give, like, family and friends and other concerned individuals that have, these concerns about someone who's using and, they don't know what to do for them? What kind of advice would you give them?
So I've always heard the saying, tough love, and I don't agree with that. You gotta love them through it. Like, I remember being in active addiction, and I didn't have nobody. Part of it was when I was in active addiction too, I isolated and moved away so my family didn't have to see me like that. But you gotta love them through it, but you also gotta find a balance to not enable them. But loving them through it, they're gonna remember that, and even if they don't make it out of addiction, you know that you love them through their pain and their grief and their darkest places.
That's awesome. Oh my goodness. I appreciate you coming in today and sharing all this with us. Your story and your journey is very amazing, and we just are happy that you and other people have decided to come forward and share this little bit, with everyone, because I think it's not only important for those that are out there in recovery or are trying to get to recovery, but it's also important for the community and for those who are making judgment on people who are, trying to get clean, sober, or whatever.
That's what a lot of people, if it hasn't affected someone's life, which most people it has, what they don't realize is the table can turn at any time, and it could be just a bad car accident, and here you are caught in the depths of addiction, because what they don't tell you about prescribing you pain pills is they're so easily addictive. And
and it doesn't take nothing to do that.
No, it doesn't.
Yes. Well, I want to congratulate you on living in recovery, and again, thank you for coming in, and congratulations on your 4 years, and just continue to be that advocate for people that are in recovery and mental health, and anything out there that's going to help people get better. So
Always.
Appreciate it. Thank you, darling.